One channel, different shows, everything entertaining. Make a Path presents Let's Talk. There will be blood and spoilers. Let's talk. I do want to clear up one thing. Negan and the Saviors are not in any way, shape, or form in this episode. Scott Gimple had clarified who he was, but if you are still confused, let's play catch up. Now, the opening scene in No Sanctuary shows Alex, who was Gareth's brother, trapped in a train car, much like our survivors were at the end of season 4. He's talking to somebody in the dark, and he's saying, "We never should have put up those signs. We brought them here." Gareth leans in out from the shadows, and he says, "We were doing something good. We were being human beings." So at first, Terminus was a place of sanctuary. It was a good place. And having that open door policy, some nasty people made their way in, and they raped, they murdered, they tortured, they pillaged, whatever. They did it all. I mean, it was probably horrific over a period of time. And this was also brought up in the only thing I don't like about this episode, which was it felt like a forced conversation between Mary and Carol in the candlelit room. And the reason I say it felt like it was forced, I know it was much needed for the audience to hear that, because we wanted to find out what Terminus was in the first episode, get all our questions answered, and move on from there. We did get that. To me, it seemed a little forced. I could have done without that, or maybe done in a different way. Now, in that conversation, Mary explains to Carol that they did have an open door policy. They were taking in people. This was a good place, and the world came and showed them who they need to be in order to survive, and that is a vicious attack before you can be attacked mentality. You're either the cattle or the butcher, and in their eyes, that is the only way to survive in this new world. You're either the cattle who are going to get slaughtered, or you're the butcher doing the slaughtering. Now, we end No Sanctuary with that same flashback image, and we have Alex and Gareth in the train car. They bring Mary back. They probably tortured her, they probably raped her, and they throw her back in the train car into the arms of Gareth, who is in fact her son. And Alex, they were trying to comfort the mother, saying it's going to be okay. The rapist leans down, which any comic book fan should know, that's an automatic sign right there. Negan, one of his rules is there is no rape. He will kill you if you are a rapist. They don't rape. So obviously that is not Negan. That's against his rules. Now, the guy leans forward, the one that people are saying is a Negan clone or a cameo. He leans over to Gareth and says, "No, it's really not going to be okay." And he punches him with a flashlight, it looks like, and then he takes another victim to go and torture and rape or whatever. Now, it's not shown, but is implied that Gareth and his group somehow escape the train car and take their community back. In doing so, they do something that is a reflection of the comic book that I thought is actually interesting, and it involves Negan. So I don't confuse you. It has nothing to do with Negan, but it's very similar to what actually happens to Negan in the comic. Negan is a ruthless leader, and he gets taken out by Rick. Instead of being killed by Rick, Rick imprisons him. He does the right thing. It's very similar to what Gareth did. This character, the bad guy, was ruling Terminus, and Gareth and his group got Terminus back and imprisoned the bad guy. Very similar to what happens to Negan in the comic. And now we see Negan imprisoned, his hair's grown out, his beard is grown in, exactly like this bad guy on the TV show. It has nothing to do with Negan, but it's the same story. It's very similar. And I don't think that was put in there on purpose for any specific reason. It might have just been similar story, you know? Now, we find out what happens to the bad guy who actually brutalized the termites and turned them into the beasts that they are today. When our survivors are escaping Terminus, Glenn tells Rick that we have to let these people out of the train car, and this was in my prediction. I predicted that they would not leave and not help the people who were trapped. That's not like them to do that. To my surprise, Rick is not about helping anybody else. He is about getting his family the hell out of there. Glenn is the heart at this moment, and he says, "Rick, that's who we are. It has to be who we are, because look at what these people are. We're not like that. We're very close to being that, but that's not who we are." And Glenn doesn't really have to convince him a whole lot, so it shows that, you know, Rick is family first, but he's still a human being. They run over to the train car, they open it up, and this nutcase pours out with the beard, the long hair, and he is in fact the very same guy. And I'm not just saying this is my opinion. This was confirmed by Scott Gimple on The Talking Dead, who says that is the guy who led those horrible people to attack Terminus, take it over, and basically torture, rape, and murder the original termites, including Gareth and his mother and his brother. Now, I say this again, Scott Gimple confirmed that. That is in fact him, and then we see him attacked by a walker and killed. So, it appears to me that some of the people in those containers could have been the original bad guys who first attacked Terminus. We know that the leader, at least, was in fact in one of those containers. So those guys are all dead. Either all dead or a large part of them involved in this Terminus thing, they're dead. So that's done. And that brings us to Terminus today. It is a slaughterhouse.